Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to another edition of the Crypto Mamma Mia. Today is November 4th, 2022. It's a Friday. What am I talking about today, ladies and gents? Well, if you live in the US, guess what's coming up? The midterms, that's right. And I love me some crypto, and I love me some news, and I love me democracy. So I talk about how all these things tie in today in my video. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. But before you do, please remember I am not your financial advisor. This is just my opinions. You can disagree, agree with me, but whatever you do, please do your own research. I just pulled up a few quick articles, but I always do listen, watch, read up on things. So I'm just gonna give you the short condensed version of some of the research I found. And if you live in the US and you're going out to vote this coming week, please, again, do your research because this kind of stuff affects you in more ways than one. That's why I'm looking into it because I do live in the US and I am going to go vote, and I always want to make sure I vote for the politicians that actually look out for my interests and what I'm into. And as you folks know, I am into crypto. I am into investing. I am into all of these kinds of things. So I just found a quick article talking about which party is a friend to crypto or decentralization. So in this article, and I'll put the link to this article in my description, Jordan here, he talks about blockchain and Washington, D.C., and who is friendly and who is wanting to regulate it more and more. Just to give you a quick history lesson, the main differences, from what I understand, between the Democratic and the Republican parties is the fact that Republicans want more privatization, less big government, while the Democrats, they do want to make sure everyone gets what they need, but that usually means big government, which means more regulation, right? Usually. So for me, as a entrepreneur minded type person, I actually prefer and maybe align more with that philosophy, the Republican philosophy. So I did some research, and you know what? The Republicans actually are more open to crypto. So in this article from Jordan, he talks about Republicans being more open to crypto explorations. And it's because of this. They do want small government, privatization, like I said, that lets people manage their lives more on their own terms. And as a crypto enthusiast, as an entrepreneur, this is what I want for myself. And in fact, Texas has become a hub for cryptocurrency mining, right? Since China outlawed mining operations. So Texas, they've got a big mining hub. And so I mean, I'm for some regulation because, like, you don't want to get scammed all the time. And if you do, you want some way to, get financial compensation for it, especially if they did do something illegal. But at the same time, I don't want the government looking into every single thing, which I'm pretty sure they already do. And as you can see here, what do the people want? The people, for the majority anyways, they are in favor of cryptocurrencies and decentralization because just like me, a lot of people do not want the government sticking their fingers in every little thing that you do, right? And as far as the Democrats go, you know, the Democrats, they want to stick your fingers into your crypto, right? Like in fact, if you folks don't know, the president of the US, President Biden, he actually made an executive order where he is calling it the ensuring responsible development of digital assets. So what does that mean? In a nutshell, it means more regulation and looking into a digital Fed coin. In fact, right here it is. The Fed is encouraged to continue research and report on its work to potentially create a central bank digital currency or a CBDC. Why do you not want this, ladies and gents? I'm going to tell you why, exactly why. So right now, if they were to have a digital currency, a Fed regulated created digital currency, guess what that means? That money, that CBDC, will be on their blockchain. So that's right. They'll be able to know that you spent a CBDC dollar here, there, anywhere. And what if you spent it on something that they didn't like? Now, this is just an example. Let's say you spent it supporting protesters that, I don't know, protested against vaccine mandates, for example, right? And the government who imposed those mandates wants you to follow them. So let's say they didn't like that you supported those protests. Well, guess what, ladies and gents? Because it's on their blockchain, they can lock your account down. Can you imagine if every single dollar that you owned was digital and was monitored by them and controlled by them? You know, they always say, oh, crypto, Bitcoin is black market money, right? Well, what about cash? Cash, that's the reason why, too. Like a lot of criminals still use cash, and it's because they can't track the cash. And yeah, Bitcoin, you could track it more than you could just straight cash because it is on the blockchain. So if you have forensic specialists who are like techie nerds that can dig into blockchain addresses and wallets, then yes, of course they can still track you, but it's not going to be an easy task. And I'm not saying that, people use Bitcoin for illegal activities. But then again, people still use cash for illegal activities. So again, I just like the idea that you can control your own finances. You can control your own life, right? As an entrepreneur, that is why I lean more towards Republicans. But you know what? I'm more of an independent. If there was a Democrat that came in here and said, we really need to give more power to the people because they need to be take more responsibility for themselves and we'll help them do that, then hey, I would support that platform or philosophy. But the democratic philosophy is, the government needs to take care of you. And that is why there's such big government. I mean, I don't know if you folks know, but under Biden, they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. So again, this is the whole idea of big government. And this is how it's going to affect your crypto. Now, if you go to a Republican town like Miami, because they not only have a Republican mayor, they have a Republican governor as well, you end up getting a very apparently crypto friendly city, town. And look at this, more and more blockchain companies are moving to Miami every year. So, and this again is because it's run not only by a Republican mayor, but a Republican governor. And so their idea is people can and should be able to decipher what is best for themselves, right? What how they think they can run their own lives. Now, of course, for those who need help, by all means the government should help, right? That's that's what a government is here for. It is to help provide, not to take over. And I just feel like with the Democrats, they want to just take over. I mean, it's so evident by their mandates, I mean, you could, if you don't know, if you don't live in the US, a lot of the Republican run states lifted a lot of the restrictions earlier than most Democratic run states. So, and you can do your research on it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the word of anybody on YouTube. You go and you do your own research. As I always say, you do you, right? But just know towns like Florida, Miami, they lifted restrictions or had minimal restrictions. And you can go do research on how that actually affected people's health, death rates from the cerveza sickness. And you'll see that, yes, there was still deaths and yes, there was still sickness, but there really wasn't a big difference gap. So again, I do my own research and I totally encourage you to do your own research as well. But there's Miami, I think Miami also even like is starting to um oh, look, see the Miami mayor, he even takes some of his salary and a portion of his 401k in Bitcoin. And the city also has, oh, they have a Miami coin, sure, to just fund their local projects. And so, I mean, of course, there's always that. There's always the fact that crypto, like any asset, fluctuates. But wouldn't you rather have the opportunity to determine on your own if it's for you or not? And no one's trying to force crypto on anybody. I'm definitely not. I'm just a crypto mama mia. I am because I love crypto for myself, and if you want to learn about it, I am more than happy to teach you about things that I've done with crypto in the past, but honestly, I don't want to tell you what to do, but as you can see, crypto and the Republican Party, they seem to have a better marriage or understanding of it. And the Democrats, all they want to do is just regulate, and regulate us to death. It seems like it. It seems like that's the case. And I don't know. I just go by what my eyes tell me. And you know what? So far in the past 2 years, the Democrats have run everything, and they pretty much have because we have a Democratic president, we have a Democratic Congress, and so far, from what I've seen and what I've felt personally, it's been run into the ground. I mean, my finances are taking a hit. My expenses are skyrocketing, and I'm just saying the people in charge are the Democrats. So I know what I see, I know what I feel, and I don't want to minimize that for anyone. But again, that's the beauty of this country. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. You can vote for whatever ideas and philosophies you want, to run your city, your town, your country. So I really encourage you to just go out and vote, but do your research. And if you love crypto, see how the person you're voting for is gonna affect your crypto wallet, your crypto assets, right? I mean, that's why we vote for a government, is because we want them to regulate how we want them to regulate, right? Like, I'm not going to vote for someone who wants more regulations on my crypto to the point where they're creating a central digital currency, right? Bank digital currency, because I know that's what they're going to do. They track us anyways, ladies and gents. And if you don't believe so, then you are naive. You need to go and just get educated. I don't know, for lack of a better term, phrase, just get educated because these things are going on around you and it's affecting you, whether you believe it or not, whether you into crypto or not, it is affecting you. It sure is. How may you ask? Whatever affects the economy affects you, right? So if you are not into it, if you are not into getting educated and figuring out why certain parties, politicians should be voted for or not voted for on what you want, then you can't just go off of what people say too on the news, ladies and gents, because the news is biased. I don't care if you like Fox, CNN, MSNBC, they're biased one way or the other. So the best thing you can do is just go dig into your own research. And it can be as simple as digging up articles. Like even these things, of course, there's always a bias, but then you can actually go and look into the executive order yourself, right? And in fact, there's a link. Well, that's probably not it. But, anyways, you just go into it. Like it's all public record. Take some time, especially if it's important to you. Take some time to go and read up on the actual decision, on the actual executive order, on the actual bill, whatever the case may be. Especially if you live here in the US and if you live in any democratic country, it's your duty, right? To yourself, not to anybody else, but to yourself to at least vote for the person that is aligned with what you want for your life, right? Because hey, it's your country, it's your city, it's your state. You go and you vote for the people that you know is what you want for your town, right? With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. If you have not already, please like me, please share me, please subscribe. I do appreciate all the views, all the comments, and I do try to reply to as many as I can when I see them. Otherwise, don't forget to vote, ladies and gents. It's important to me. It should be important to you, especially if you live in the US, because it's your life. It's no one else's but yours, right? Don't you want to live it the way you want to live it? With that being said, ladies and gents, please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Please stay sane. Most important of all. And I will see you at the next video. Adios.